Hi sweet friends, welcome back, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Amy and welcome. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you a fall DIY wreath. Now, I've been searching in store and online for a wreath, and they are so expensive, so I knew that I could make one that is a little bit more substantial and a lot cheaper, as well as incorporate florals and ribbon that is going to fit perfectly with my decor. So I'll also be sharing with you my technique for making bows for my wreath, so I hope that that'll also help you in making your bow. And since this video is jam-packed, I'm going to go ahead and share with you today's Bible verse, which comes from Psalm 51, 10 through 12. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me from your presence or take away your Holy Spirit from me. Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. If you're looking for more fall home decor inspiration, definitely go ahead and check out my home tour for fall, as well as my last video, which is here on our front porch. I absolutely love how that turned out, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. So I'll go ahead, leave those videos down in the description box and also here at the end of this video so that you can go and watch those after you're finished today. So if you're super excited for this video, go ahead and hit that like button for me and also consider subscribing. I would love to have you back. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the fall wreath. Here's a look at all the materials that you're going to need for this DIY wreath. This first one is a grapevine wreath. It's 14 inches and I picked that up at Hobby Lobby, but now I know that you can also get those at the Dollar Tree, so you might want to look there first to see if you could get it cheaper. Now you'll want to get some wired ribbon. That's important so that your bow is nice and fluffy. And then I went ahead and picked up 4 different types of picks. These again from Hobby Lobby for $3.99, and I like that they had 2 different types of pumpkins. Then I picked up 2 bunches of this floral. It is $9.99. Now you can get that for 50% off, and that's going to be the backdrop of your wreath. You're also going to need a measuring tape, some scissors, also some floral wire, and some wire cutters. To begin, I'm going to go ahead and start making the bow and get that out of the way. That's the most difficult part of this whole project. So I'm starting again with some wired ribbon, and the width of the ribbon is about 2 inches. You don't want to go any smaller than that. And I'm first starting with the tail, and I'm measuring out 12 inches. You can always cut that off at the end depending on how long you want your tails to be. Also, it's a good idea to start with a ribbon that has pattern on both sides, like that it doesn't have a good and a bad side. Now, if you do have ribbon like that, you can still correct that, but you'll have to twist that when you're folding it over. So for my ribbon, I'm making a 12-inch bow, so I'm measuring out 12 inches for all the loops. You want to try your best to keep all the loops the same size. So again, you're doing 12 inches. So you're just going to crease that in accordion style, fold back and forth until you've reached about 10 to 12 loops, depending on how full you want your bow to be. All in all, after making all the loops and the tails, I used about 15 feet of the ribbon, so make sure you buy a large roll so that your bow is going to be nice and full. After you've made your 10 loops, you're going to finish off by looping one more time, coming 1 inch to 2 inches past the middle and cut the ribbon. That way that final loop won't come unraveled. We'll go back in later and add some more tails to finish it off. Now you're going to pick up all your loops, trying to keep them all stacked neatly together. Now sometimes this can be hard to hold, but try your best to keep them from slipping around and in a row. You're going to go ahead and fold them over to find the center point. Then you're going to fan it back open, and that is where you're going to cut your 2 little Pac-Man slits on each side, making sure not to come all the way through to the middle. You want about 1 inch of ribbon that is intact in the center. You don't have to worry too much about this because cutting through the stack of wire is kind of hard, so make sure to have a nice sharp pair of scissors. Next, you're going to take your floral wire and cut about 15 inches, which will give you enough to double it up just in case it would break and to make it more sturdy. Then we're going to place that wire into the 2 slits we just made and twist it around tightly to hold the loops in place. Make sure to leave enough wire on each side so that you can wrap around your wreath so you can secure your bow. Now we can go ahead and make the extra tails, and for my bow I want to add 4. I think that just makes a more dramatic looking bow, and so I'm just going to measure out the same length of my other tail, and then if we need to we can cut that off in the end. For the tails, I'll be using the same Pac-Man slits and wire to attach them to the back of the bow. You can go ahead and trim off any of the excess wire from the tails. Just make sure not to cut the wire that's needed to secure the bow to the wreath. Now we are going to work on the loops. At this point, we aren't worried about fluffing out the ribbon. We're just going to get the loops spread out. Taking the top loop of the bottom stack of loops, we're going to pull up and twist down. Then the next loop in line, we're going to pull up and twist down. Then continue alternating the loops, twisting up, then the next loop, twisting down, continuing this process for all the loops. Once that stack of loops is done, you're going to do the same for the top stack. So at this point, this is what your bow looks like, and now it's time to really fluff up and rearrange each loop. And what I like to do is open them up really nice and have some going vertically, some going horizontally, and even some diagonal. So just take a step back, look and see which way you need to twist it. Just remember, be patient, and it takes a little bit of practice, but in no time you will have a beautiful looking bow. Now that you have all your loops fluffed in the way that you like it, it's time to work on the tails. Now for this bow, I thought that they were a little too long, so I'm going up and leaving probably only 9 inches of a tail, and then I'll just cut those to an angle from long to short towards the center, and then do that to the opposite two. And then to make them look a little bit more flowy, I'll just kind of crimp them to make them look like they've been flowing in the wind. Now that you have your bow the way that you like it, you can set it aside, and remember, you'll probably have to do even more fluffing once you tie it onto your wreath. But for now, let's set that aside and we'll start creating our flower arrangement on our wreath. I'm taking this bundle of florals and I'm actually going to cut all of the floral tape off and pull apart each stem. Now this will take a little bit of time, and you need to get most of that floral tape off. By separating each of the stems out, it allows you to spread that evenly across the wreath instead of in just one big grouping. Now I'm going to start placing the floral stems into the grapevine wreath. And what I love about this is if you mess up, you can just pull it right back out. And if you want to change it for the seasons, you can definitely do that too. So it's very versatile. I like working with the grapevine wreaths. And as you see here, I'm actually putting some of the florals up and then some of them down, because that point at the left here is where I'm hoping to put the bow. And so I'm just kind of making a C around the wreath, and then I'll eventually fill in around the other side to where you can't really tell that they are going up or down, if that makes any sense. So I hope just by watching this, you can get what I'm saying. You have your base of your flowers arranged the way that you like them. Then I'm going to start with my bigger picks, remembering where I'm wanting to place my bow. I definitely won't want to hide the picks, so I'm just kind of roughly placing them where I think that they would look good. Then I'll start by shoving that pick right down into the grapevine wreath, and then once I get the bow on, I'll even be adjusting it further. One tip I have for you when you're working with different florals is to make sure to intertwine the two. Bring the back florals forward and some of the pumpkin pick florals back. This is going to make a more uniform arrangement and it'll look a little bit more professional. Now it's time to attach your bow, and like I mentioned before, I needed to just tweak the placement of some of the pumpkins, and so you just work with it and switch things out. And that's what, again, I love about a grapevine wreath, is that if it doesn't look full in one place, you can take it away from a place that does look full and just keep rearranging until you get it the way you like it. Just have fun and be patient with it. It'll all come together and it will look beautiful, and you'll be so happy to display it wherever you have a placement for your beautiful wreath. So this is where the finished wreath is going to go, here on our front door. I'm super happy with how it turned out, and I love that I was able to make it myself for a lot cheaper than what I could have bought it for. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give me a big thumbs up and also consider subscribing. If you're wanting more fall decor inspiration, I'll have my home tour for fall as well as my front porch fall decorate with me linked here at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you back. Take care and God bless, friends. Bye.